So, from what I can clearly see, lots of people is leaving from California to the South. When I was growing up, lots of people was going to Texas. I didn't understand why, but as I got older, and eventually when I relocated, I could see why. I could really see why. So, you born and raised in the South.
Hmm.
Have you been to California?
No, I have not been to California.
What's your perception of California being from the South?
Growing up, my perception was always nice water, palm trees, sunny, shopping. It was just painted to be like the place to be. Like
Hell
you wanted
yeah.
to be in California.
Hell yeah. So did you wanted to go
I wanted to visit,
visit? Right.
not go permanently or anything
Right,
like
right,
that, but
right.
just to see what all the hype was about.
For sure. For sure. And it wasn't until I had came down to the South that that's when I really understood like just the major difference in living.
Hmm.
Shit, first things first, the first thing that caught my mind was well, caught my attention was gas prices. I remember when I was growing up, my mama used to tell me how like gas would be like 99 cents a gallon. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And my mom's from California, so um, so since you've been living in the South, what's the highest gas price you done seen?
Ooh, the highest, most outrageous, disrespectful gas prices I done seen
Right, all that.
was like $4 and some change.
Was it why?
I don't remember. It was like around election time. I can't remember what was going on, but it was something with the oil stuff going on, and it was just like making gas prices here just ridiculous. That ain't been that long ago. That wasn't like when I was growing up. Cause growing up,
So that was like a one time deal.
yeah, it hadn't been that way
And how
since
long
then.
did that shit stay like that for?
Shit, that was like that for I wanted some months.
That's a long ass time.
It is a long ass time, especially for people who ain't used to paying that kind of money. Like somebody owe us.
And that's just like hella disrespectful to you, huh?
Hell yeah, it is. Like growing up, you see prices like 97 cents a gallon. I remember my
You
folks
seen
put
that?
yes. I remember my people putting $5 worth of gas in their car, and we riding all week. Like that's just what that was just the thing to do.
With your own eyes, you seen 97
With my
cents.
own eyes, 97 cents,
Wow.
literally.
Wow. Uh yeah. I know like I think the highest I probably seen was probably like four something, five something.
That's high.
Um but California, they don't really go no lower than like I mean, I can't even remember last time I seen like two something. Like shit, when I came to the South, the lowest I seen was like 129 or some shit, 137, I think. And that was and it stayed like that for it was remember it was like a week. It just kept dropping. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it was just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. I'm like, what in the hell?
Yeah,
I said,
that's
man, you
ridiculous.
want to just like start selling gas like back home, like on some real shit. Like, goddamn. But another thing that really got me was the goddamn the rent,
The cost of
the
living.
cost of living.
Yeah.
Like a one bedroom apartment in a decent area can hit you like 1100. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You could take that same 1100 and go to the south and find you like a 5 bedroom house with a big ass yard. Uh, yeah, big ass yard, like 1100. You could do some thing if you was willing to pay 1100 in the south. You can live lavish.
Hell yeah, you could. And that was one of the things that made me not want to move to California. Like you hear to talk about number one thing was the gas prices and the goddamn cost of living.
Yeah, that shit is ridiculous. Um, it cost to real life live comfortable in California. You got to be selling dope. You got to be a lawyer and a doctor on the side.
Mhm.
Maybe sell a little ass. I don't know, but you got to do something. You can't just have job.
Right.
You can't just have a job like unless you doing something. Unless you doing something. I be looking at these houses and shit that these rap motherfuckers be buying in the South and shit, right?
Mhm.
And they be saying the price on that shit. I be like, damn, you motherfuckers could even live in Malibu in California.
Hmm.
That shit, that's a down payment, brother.
I can just about imagine.
Like, that's a real life down payment. Like that shit is hella expensive. But I will say, like, the difference is like when it comes to the South, uh certain things you gotta get used to, like quick. First of all, the humidity. Like, I don't even think you motherfuckers know what air is. If you never left from the South, I really like. I think your lungs would adjust different as soon as you even touch down in California. It's like the air is just like actual air. You know what I'm saying? Like out here, it's air. It's air, but that shit is thick. It's like I don't know. It's horrible. It's the like the humidity. The humidity. That shit is terrible.
And it hits you as soon as you step foot. It don't waste no time. You notice
Yeah.
the difference like immediately. Like I flew to Las Vegas. As soon as I stepped foot off the plane, I was like, to me, that was fresh air. Like that was my first experience with some decent air. Well, I won't say the first, because when I went to Seattle, it was different there too.
Yeah, fuck
But
Seattle.
it wasn't like no huge difference. Like, but going to Vegas, I was like, wow. I was like, it was hot. It was like 104 when we got off the plane, but it was tolerable. I didn't need no job. I mean, I wasn't just like breaking out of no sweat, but I was like, shit, let it be 104 back home. Niggas is sweating. Niggas is like, damn, they're about to die in the whole shit because it's hot as fuck. Plus, the humidity, you can't even breathe.
Yeah, the first time I actually experienced like the humidity and shit is when I was in Georgia
Mm.
and it was raining outside
Hmm.
and it was hot as fuck. It was like I didn't know what the fuck to do. I didn't know what the fuck to wear. Like
That'd be the worst.
it's hot. Motherfuckers is out here swimming literally.
Hmm.
It's raining. Um, like what do you do? Like you supposed to have the like you getting wet as fuck. You in the car. You don't want to put on some heater, but you don't want to put on no AC either. You don't want to get sick. You're like, what the fuck do you do? Like you wet, but you hot.
Hmm.
You hot as fuck. Like I never like how the fuck is it raining and it's hot as fucking this bitch? Like how is that shit possible? So and then when you have those cold fronts in the south, it's like it's hella ridiculous cold. Like it's horrible. It's just terrible. So if you're gonna relocate, I'm gonna have to say weather is especially if you're black, because your hair, you know what I'm saying? Your hairstyles is gonna be slim.
Hmm.
You know, you can press your shit out looking real good. As soon as you go outside, get to the car, it's over. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to your hair thing is gonna be real big to the black women out there. You coming to the south, that hair shit is just it's over. You know what I mean? Uh if you got asthma, you better come prepared. Um but the biggest thing I have to say that was big for me, you know what that was?
What?
One thing about the South that you gotta get used to is two things that can be real frustrating.
The pace is slow.
And it's not even that, but we'll get to that. Good looking on bringing that up. It's the motherfucking it's the nature and it's the talking. Two things that can frustrate you because you see how I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm from California. Da, 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 da. You pay attention to how she talks from the South. Now that's like a dumbed down version talking. That's a slow, really not too much saying anything. But when one from the South gets to talking, they just get to flowing. You can't really understand nothing that they saying. You know what I mean? Like you gotta use context clues when you're talking to a motherfucker from the South. Like, first thing that comes to my mind, pizza, right? So you're talking about pizza. I would try to guess, not even guess, but pay attention close so I can put two and two together what you might be saying, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Cause when they get to talking, it's just like a big mumbo jumbo shit. And when they talking together and you like in that conversation, you heard nothing. You heard nothing. Like on some real shit, it's hard. Like especially when they born and raised in the South. Like that shit be thick. And you be like, what? And then on top of that, what's hella annoying is, when I'm talking like this back home, I'd be considered, talking ghetto or talking like this, talking like that. But out here to these motherfuckers, we talk proper.
Mm-hmm. Hella proper.
Like proper. Like proper. And then one thing about country motherfuckers is they don't like being called country motherfuckers, but they from the country. But it is what it is. But that pace though, yeah. But let's talk about that nature shit. I'm a straight bitch when it comes to nature. Period, point blank. I don't give a fuck. This is the only place you can come to, like Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, um, shit like that, right? New Orleans. I don't really don't know too much about New Orleans like that, but I know they got a bad infestation nigga on Bourbon Street. That shit is terrible. But other than that, in them places, that's the only motherfucking places you can like really be at. Let's start with Florida. You can walk out of your house in the morning, have a whole ass alligator, nigga, on your motherfucking doorstep, nigga. Like, imagine waking up, smoking a blunt, finna go to work, open the door up. Is that a motherfucking alligator? That's a whole ass alligator, like 7 foot long on your motherfucking door. You know what I'm saying? When I first came down to the South, I used to go to one of my folks' house down here. I stopped going over there. She shouldn't have said what she said. Coming out the crib, you got snakes and shit in your front lawn. Snakes.
Plural.
And you talking about going put gas in your car, like, oh hell to the no. The motherfucking roaches. These niggas be flying. They're hella big. They're like they're like hella big. Like they'll take a roach from California and jump this nigga, just straight body slam that little motherfucker. Like, um, um, this is the only motherfucking place I know you could be walking down the street in a city by houses and see a bunch of what is them coyotes, foxes or whatever the fuck.
The fox.
Fox nigga. They got fox warnings. Wow. Imagine walking home from work, or walking home from a little G thing in a little liquor store or something, and now you running from some fox. When you living in the projects, you might run from a pit bull, government pitcher, a Rottweiler, some shit like that. But a fox, nigga, you and your dog is running from a fox. Oh, nah. The fucking mosquitoes. Those motherfuckers is huge. You know how like you could like barely see one of the motherfuckers. These motherfuckers like you could see those motherfuckers coming like it's like a whole ass bird. Like these motherfuckers is hella big. But yeah, the snakes and shit, that shit is heavy in the South because like on every other block in everything is like goddamn forest. It's like the woods and shit. Like the fucking woods. Some of these motherfuckers are still using wells to get water.
Mm-hmm.
A fucking well. Like, what the fuck? But the pay is terrible. The pay is terrible. But since rent is like $2.30, I can see why. You know what I mean? But if they up that pay out here and leave rent and shit how it's supposed to be, you could be balling out here
Good.
on just a job. I tell you what. But you really got to get used to a couple different things. Like I say, um, hurricane season. Hurricane season. You know how niggas have summer, winter, spring, um, fall and shit like that. You know how like niggas go through certain shit like tornadoes and earthquakes. Like I'm from California once again, so motherfuckers be like, well, you have earthquakes. I'm from motherfucking Sacramento. I ain't never felt shit shake. You know what I mean? So I had never been through a natural disaster before. California goes through like fires and shit. Like pretty much got like a fire season on some real shit. Um, yeah, when you think about it, we pretty much got like a fire season and earthquakes. That's it. Uh, but out here, they got what's that? Tornadoes in hurricane season. Hurricane season. There is a season from what day?
June 1st.
June 1st to what?
November 30th.
Is when you can expect possibly to lose your house, car, and whatever else the fuck between June 1st and something on the 30th. You can depend on losing your shit. Period, point blank. Um, it goes down. It really goes down. And I've been through a few hurricanes out here. Well, that's what they called them. Uh, and I could say, don't for the right storm, that could be some scary shit. That could be some scary shit. The wind be blowing like at so what's the highest some shits be at? They be over 100 or something.
Yeah.
They got different categories and shit like that. Explain to me the different categories of you know what I'm saying, to people who don't never or yeah, who don't know what the categories are, been through the categories. So what does cat one mean? What does cat two mean? What does cat three mean? What does cat four and five, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's impossible to have a six because it don't matter. Five is just gonna be that one.
Mm-hmm.
Bet it up. And tell me on each one of those stages, because I notice a lot of people will stay for a hurricane depending on the cat, right? So break it down. What what these hurricanes is and what you need to leave on and what you can't survive in. Like, what's a real guide for a hurricane for a person who's been through them?
So typically, every storm starts out as a tropical storm, tropical depression. It's either one of those two that's gonna turn into something. Your category one, that ain't shit. That's like a thunderstorm basically, with very little thunder, maybe a little light flooding in the street or some shit like that. And then as you go up the categories,
You see what I'm saying though? When a motherfucker gets us flowing, you gotta like zone in. You know what I mean? You gotta zone in because you really don't. You can rewind that shit though, but I'm gonna have to zone in on some real shit, but because I lost you already. But go ahead.
Oh man. Okay, so category one is just like a rain shower. Like you might get a little thunder, maybe a lightning strike here or there, but it's like nothing serious. You go around. I mean, school's not closing, ain't nothing stopping. You're gonna go on about your regular day. You're gonna be at
Trailer
work.
park.
Trailer parks, okay.
Okay.
Trailer parks, okay.
Okay.
Now, when you go up to category two, that means you're gonna have a little floodings. Maybe some streets might get closed. If you living in the trailer, depending on how strong the wind is, then you may want to go to your hotel or go to a relative or some shit like that. But you'll experience mostly a whole lot of rain, a whole lot of wind, and you might do like a little bit of flooding, and that can last for a couple of days, just depending on the situation. And then category three is the one where you kind of like you pay attention because category one and category two, you ain't watching the news. You don't really give a fuck about what's going on. That's like the norm for us. That's a thunderstorm getting ready to come. We finna get a bunch of rain. It is what it is. But category three is when you want to kind of like start paying attention because depending on if it's gonna be a whole lot of rain or if it's gonna be a whole lot of wind, that might be a situation you want to be in because that means trash cans gonna get thrown from here or there. The flooding can be more so than the street. It can actually be some feet of rain. Like you can be in like 3 feet of rain depending on how big the storm surge is and what side of the storm you actually are on. Because you know if you're on the left side, that's the worst side. But anyway, and then if the wind and stuff is just bad. And your deciding factor on that is going to be how big the storm actually is, because the storms are measured by miles. So, like, if it's a small storm and it's a 3, it's worth staying. You don't really have to go nowhere because, like I said, you might see the beach water flood over the streets over into the neighborhoods or something like that. But it ain't nothing that's life threatening unless, like I said, how big it is, and then you might have a tornado or something pop off. But if you
Right.
get to a 4 or 5, that's when you glued to the seat. You already preparing. Like the stores are empty. It's chaotic as all get out. Like a 4 to me is like category 3, 2, and 1, tropical storm depression, all of that combined, and then it may throw in an extra little twist because you being a hurricane and you'll have like 6 or 7 or 8 different tornadoes popping off in different areas at the same damn time as a damn hurricane is still going on. And hurricane being wind blowing, a whole lot of flooding, and like the wind is pushing the water to the houses and stuff. It's not pushing it away, it's bringing it on land. So when you're surrounded by a bunch of bodies of water, that's not a good thing or whatever. But windows, roofs, all that stuff becomes a factor. And you don't want to be in a situation where you get stuck because the people will tell you on the news, we are not coming to get you. So you have to really be paying attention to what the news is talking about, because you end up stuck somewhere and they not gonna rescue you. You, your dog, the cat, whatever, whoever, you're gonna be stuck. I've been stuck in the attic before, and I had to hear them tell us that it wasn't nothing they can do. So that's how it go though. Category 5 being your absolute worst, and category 5 hurricanes can get up to like hundreds of miles wide. Like it's crazy. And then like the wind and stuff like that, it can literally like pick you up and throw you. Like that's how strong it is. So
That's hella disrespectful. I remember my first hurricane out here. I don't remember the name of it, but I just remember people talking about hurricane parties. I remember people fighting over water, batteries, ice, and things like that. You go to the store, there's no water in sight. There's no batteries. There's no flashlights. There's no ice. There's nothing. They take it all. They take it all. So if you're gonna sit here and stay for that Cat 3, right?
mm-hmm.
What should you prepare for, and how should you prepare?
If you decide to stay, then you should make sure all areas are covered. You need to make sure you got not even just batteries, but you want to make sure you got candles. You want to make sure you got lighters. You want to make sure that you have non-perishable food items, like stuff that cannot spoil or ruin. Um, you want to make sure you got your most important documents and all that stuff in Ziploc bags and put up just in case. And you need to make sure it's within arm's reach. You always want to make sure that your car is gassed up because you never know, because any storm can go from a 3 to a 5. So you always keep your car gassed up.
And always keep money.
Cash, yes.
Money is important. You know what I'm saying? Because when the power is down, there's no ATM machines. It's over. So you might have thousands of dollars on the card, but your ass is broke.
That's
Your
correct.
ass is as good as broke. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So food, you want to make sure you have cash. If you are persons that need medicine and it has to be in the refrigerator, you want to make sure you got ice and chests and coolers or whatever the situation is with that. You want to also make sure if you got pets, they got to have the essential items too. Your water is going to be out, so that means your restrooms are not going to be working. So you have to have a plan for how that's going to flow. But water, food, finances, important documents are your most important things, especially if you have insurance on your house, on your items, whatever you own. All that stuff is hella important, and you prepare by. Don't wait till the last minute. You better get, as soon as they say hurricane, 9 times out of 10, everybody's already, every time they go to the store, grabbing a case of water, grabbing buying the sausages or whatever they gonna eat that's not gonna spoil, something that you don't need a can opener or have to turn the stove and stuff on for. So you automatically want to start grabbing that stuff. And if you front this out 9 times out of 10, you already mentally start preparing for that stuff anyway. But in case you're one of those people who don't wait till the last minute or you're not gonna have nothing. Tissue is gone, paper towels is gone, like everything that you need, that stuff is gone.
COVID all over again.
COVID all over again.
It really
Times
be
10.
looking like that, like on some real shit. Everybody's at the store. Everybody's in a panic.
Gas run out, so you don't want to wait till the last minute to gas your car out. I've been in situations where we only had like 3 gas stations, and them lines get hella long.
I've been
for hours.
Yeah,
we would have to wait,
I
literally.
see that shit before. That shit is So when does one start preparing? So what month we in? February?
We in February right
You
now.
said June?
Uh-huh.
Huh. And let me ask you this. Does a person who's been through storms know when we do for a storm? Yeah. A good storm?
You kind of like get the hint, like you feel it you become nature oriented, if that makes sense. Like you could tell it in the kind of weather you have. You could tell in how long does it stay cold? Did we have a cold winter? Like if it wasn't a cold winter, you could bet your bottom dollar that it's gonna be a hell of a hurricane season off top.
Okay, so it's been kind of cold this year. So
we've had cold fronts. It's the difference.
Okay, so what do you expect this season then from what you observed weather-wise this year so far? Or I guess this year and last year, right? After the storm? Right. So what have you observed so far and what's your hypothesis on that?
Based on our weather and how it hasn't really just been cold, I would say we're going to have an active hurricane season. And by active, that doesn't mean you're going to get one that's going to destroy every single time it touches down. That just means they're going to be flying through them. They're going to be popping up left and right. And every time you're going to be on edge wondering, is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the one? I wouldn't be surprised.
Man, one of them things that I that's like a gamble out here. Like when you really sitting here, like when hurricane season is coming, like or is here, and then you find out that storm is forming in the ocean, and you just ready to see which way it's gonna go, which way is go. So all these, Florida be sitting there hoping to get missed.
Yeah.
The coast, the Mississippi coast, you be hoping New Orleans don't get flooded out. Alabama get hit up and towed by some tornadoes or something. All these and shit. Costa Rica, all these motherfuckers just hoping. Like, we don't want nobody to get touched though, right. But you definitely like, ooh, man. But there's what's that one place in the state here that is just what they get it's bad. Is it here? Is it New Orleans? Is it as Alabama? What's that one place? Because I don't know the land structure of it. Who cannot get touched like at all, or it's going to be bad.
Ooh, you know what? Honestly, even from growing up till now, to my adulthood, New Orleans is always the one place they don't want to get touched. It's already a city that's built underwater. They got those levees that.
Yeah, they keep saying underwater. I'm gonna have to go into that one day, not right now, but yeah, like so
it's basically like they have built walls to keep this water from
flooding. That damn shit I be seeing.
Yes. They have built that shit to keep the city, because it's already built. Like I said, underwater. It's under sea level. These walls are built to keep that water from basically flooding the city. And if that fail, even on a storm, when they get regular storms or whatever, they worry about that shit failing. Like, period. But
I couldn't live like that.
New Orleans that's a big ass gamble to take. Like living there, like when they hear Hurricane 1 and 2, they flooding, they leaving. Like they don't have to get no major hurricane for them to have to leave because it floods so bad just on a small ass storm.
I could live through that.
Yeah.
I could live through that. But I know like when I think about like who can't get touched by no water, when I think about California, the first thing that comes to mind, and I could be wrong, but I think San Francisco. I think because if they get touched by anything, like, because that city is built on hills and shit. It's like when you say you driving up the street, you literally driving up the street.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit, and they're surrounded by water, and that town is so motherfucking small. Like, I know they'll go through the motions, but I'm glad that we ain't got that shit. I ain't even gonna lie to you, back in California, because out here, that's just a whole ass another thing you got to sit there and prep for.
Yeah.
And it's very costly. Like that shit is so costly. I'm still thinking about the big ass tree that's in my backyard right now that just fell not too long ago. That was cracked up, big ass motherfucking tree. Uh, I might have to attach a video to this one, but for real, like trees is like coming down, like you don't know where to park your car. Shit is flying and smacking into shit. It's just horrible. And then motherfuckers from Alabama already can't drive, so when they come this way, it's just no disrespect to Alabama though, but y'all, I don't understand. Like the blinker works, the brakes work. You know what I'm saying? Like use that shit, G. The gas pedal work too, but yeah, man, that whole thing from the South to California though, or from the West Coast, whatever the fuck, just to the South, it's a whole lot of getting used to. But it can be worth it though. You can if you are one that likes privacy, if you're one who ever wanted to own some land, if you're one who uh who just likes living different, this is the place to do it. I tell you what, the gun laws is hella different. I have never seen no shit like this before. I have never seen no shit like this. California, they want your pinky toe, they want your mama name, her social security. They want to know what you did last summer. They want to know everything about you. You know what I'm saying? You got one ball, two balls. They want to know everything. In the South, you walk into the store, you say, I want that one right there. I want that one right there. You give them your ID. You pay for it. You walk the fuck out the store. Seriously. It's like buying a fucking Gatorade. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit. It's that easy. Like, so all you motherfuckers, because I know back home, niggas like to play kick though. You don't come play kick though in the South. You know what I'm saying? Do not come do that shit here.
The people in the South look for that kind of stuff to happen.
I'm telling you, like
they justify it automatically, so they be like, it's whatever.
You can step on somebody's property wrong, and they got the right to, yeah, you know what I'm saying. And they bear arms, hella arms. They got hella arms, like on some real shit. So, but and that's why I don't think they got a crazy like gun violence out in the South because everybody got one. Like everybody got one. You know what I'm saying? Like legally too. Like on some real shit. You can carry the motherfuckers in the stove. I see motherfuckers just walking through with no shirts on, just gun on their head. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck. The police walk right past their ass, like, cause they just assume motherfuckers got a gun. It's the South. Like, how don't you have one? You know what I mean? So yeah, you got the gun laws, got the weather, um, we got the pricing. There was one more thing. There was one more thing I wanted to bring up from the difference. But another thing though too, that time zone shit. I'm still trying to adjust. You know what I mean? You could be in Georgia, that's 3 hours ahead, California time. You could be in Texas or Mississippi, Alabama, and that's 2 hours ahead. You know what I mean? So you fuck around and call them motherfuckers back home, thinking like it's 12 o'clock here. No, it's like 10 something there, or it could be 6 in the morning here, 7 in the morning here. It's like 5 or 4 over there, where depending on what time it is and shit like that. And the days go by hella quick. Days go by hella quick out here. Once it's like 1:30, to me, the day is over. The day is over. Like, cause it flies by so motherfucking fast. But man, that's gonna irk my nerve. I know there was one more thing. What else you got? You got something else?
Well, no, just other than that pace, how slow it is here compared to there.
Yeah, y'all hella slow. The South. I'm sorry, but these motherfuckers are slow as hell. Like the pace is slow. Just the conversation. That shit is kind of like from the South, you gotta excuse them sometimes, like on some real shit. I think it's really just a South thing. But um Man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to remember what it was. But other than that, that's just the things that like I said, from the south, from the west coast to the south, however, you know. But I will say this, some of the people that I know that be struggling in the south, they talk about that when they move to California. That's the stupidest shit you can probably do. Because if you're struggling here, you will die there. You know what I'm saying? Um, you want a place where you can do something with $700.
Yeah, I know
California,
y'all benefits and stuff is different too. Y'all get a hell of a lot more, but I know they got to do with cost of living and all that stuff too.
yeah, like what else is hella different though? I will say, y'all's y'all's county system shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they be giving people like I wonder if they be laughing when they be putting the shit on y'all's card out here. You know what I
Because that's the
mean?
norm. That's the norm.
Like if you go like all right. So if you go on California people, I couldn't say West Coast, but I don't know what the fuck happens all through. You know what I mean? The West Coast. I'm from. You dig what I'm saying? So that's all what I know. But I know where I'm from. When you sit here and you got you a couple of kids or whatnot. Like I think everybody know there's that one person who gets like $800, $900 a month on probably some cash aid and probably the same shit on food stamps. You know what I'm saying? And now here, when you sit here and get any kind of money from them, they sit there and if you ain't got no job, clearly they sit here and make you do a community service for 8 hours a day just to get whatever money they gonna give you, and it probably ain't gonna be nothing over $300. You know what I'm saying? And food stamps too. They not finna give you shit. In California, they'll sit here and give them a fucking 800, 700 just off the strength. You know what I mean? And out here, 800 what?
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit ain't happening. Does that shit happen?
If you got hella kids, yeah,
What's hella
you
kids?
got to have at least 4 or 5, and you got to be like not working.
Oh, you gotta be like not working, not working.
Like out here, in order for you to get a decent amount of anything, you can't make over $400 a month. Not a week, not bi-weekly, for an entire month. You cannot make nothing over $400 if you want any kind of decent assistance. Literally, $400. It's like if you working hard and you still just need a little extra help, you can't get it. But if you sitting at home being a bum with all these extra kids and shit, then you can get them $700, $800. But you better not be making nothing over $400 a month if you want this kind of assistance.
Wow.
Yeah.
$400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's that's some shit. I don't even know what the fuck to say about that shit right there. That's new to me. Man. But yeah, they definitely not gonna let you just so where you can't just sit on your ass out here because you still gonna have to go to that community service, ain't you?
You still gotta do that community service.
Yeah.
But that's if that's only that ain't for food stamps. That's only
If
if
you get
you're
money.
trying to if you're getting cash.
Yeah.
Our food stamp benefits is just what it is. Food stamp benefit only.
Right,
If
but I'm
you
talking
want
about that cash though.
and that's only like $200 something dollars, like literally barely $200. And then
What if you got hella kids?
if you got hella kids, it's still only a certain percentage because they only go by percentages on what the income is or however it goes.
So if you got, I thought you was talking about cash. You was talking about food stamps.
No,
before.
I'm food stamps before.
That's what I'm talking about. Hold on, you was talking about food stamps before. So
Yeah.
let's talk about cash. So if you got 4, 5 kids, you were saying for food stamps, that was the answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought you were talking about cash. So cash, what is that?
Cash is if you got kids. But
No. How much? You say?
Oh, probably like barely $200. I would say seriously. It's no money in that. And the killer part about that is if you accept that money, you have to pay it back when you get on your feet.
Well, they say that shit to motherfuckers back home too. You gotta sign some shit or they'll say you could take a certain class or whatever the fuck. But niggas don't pay that shit back. They just signed the motherfucking paper and going about they shit. Do y'all have that homeless shit out here?
What you mean?
It's called it's like a homeless program. Like you can use like once a lifetime or some shit like that.
No, they don't cater to homeless people. And then like our homeless community, actually we didn't have like an actual homeless community. It just started getting, I'll say bad, what you see now. Like when I was growing up and stuff like that, it was rare. It wasn't a thing.
I just had like local bums that probably had like a family, huh?
Right.
And
They
then
just
want to
want to
go.
hang out on the streets and be drunks or whatever. But they did have like what they call the mission. You can go there and they'll give you like food and clothes and stuff like that. But like a program and all that, no, no. If you homeless, the best they can do for you is tell you to go down to DHS, get you some food stamps. Because if you homeless, you can't get stamps. I think
Mhm.
they get like $50 or something. And
What?
yeah, yeah. And they try to help you point you in the right direction to go get a job. They send you to the Win Job Center to help you get a job and all of that.
Did you just say that they gonna give you $50?
The homeless people don't get no whole lot of nothing.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
it's
you know they don't help homeless in California at all. Like the homeless community is bad. It's like,
yeah, I seen it.
yeah,
That's
that,
a
that shit
shame.
is that shit is bad. Like I was one of them niggas
That shit is
on
terrible.
some real shit. But man, it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's some of that shit though. You gotta think about like when you wanna go to the south or whatnot. I would recommend though. I would recommend going to check it out, seeing if you like it. Hit up different spots. Texas don't even have taxes, huh?
I don't know.
Texas don't do taxes. Yeah,
Sure,
yeah. That's
we do, and it's decent. But I know if you go to Alabama, theirs is high for sure. Theirs get up there. It's really high. Like you could be almost end up paying double for what you buying. It's terrible.
the fuck is wrong with motherfuckers. Yeah, I paid for something the other day. That shit was $20 tax on that shit. I was like, what
And
the
just
fuck?
imagine buying that same item in Alabama, it probably would have been damn near $100.
Hell nah.
Because you think about 7% to 18%, that's a big ass difference.
That tax is 18%.
Some places in Alabama, 18%.
Hell, I need to go get me a business out there. Then I'd be taxing these motherfuckers all day. But yeah, like I said, that's just some things right there. The differences, some of the shit you gotta adjust to.
And y'all liquor
Um,
stores don't close on Sundays, huh?
my liquor store go close to like 4 in the morning, bro. 2 in the morning. Yeah, like Sunday closing. Like the fuck, hell nah. Like
Mm.
yeah, these motherfuckers liquor on Sundays is non-existent. You gotta get what you want. If you fuck around and forget on Sunday, you're gonna be mad than a motherfucker unless you drives to a whole nother state or something. But yeah, these motherfuckers don't got no motherfucking liquor on those Sundays and shit like that. Like,
And they got to close by 10 o'clock on all the other days.
yeah, 10 o'clock though. 10 o'clock. Yeah, the liquor stores, I don't think them motherfuckers close to like 2 or some shit like that. But I know bars and shit don't close to like 4.
We ain't got no bars down here unless you go to like the casino or something.
Shit. And even the bars y'all do got down here, them motherfuckers can't even sell no liquor like that. And if they do, they can't even sell it after a certain time.
Yeah.
You old straight Budweiser drinking ass motherfucker only. You feel me? But drop me a motherfucking comment. Let me know what the fuck you think about some of the things I was saying. Um, have you already moved? Have you migrated? Have you experienced some of the things I'm talking about? If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Whatever, if I can answer them or ask this country ass, I definitely will. But other than that, drop me a comment.